10.
Shut
Post
down.
control, both auto, descent engine command override off.
We're there.
Engine arm off. 413 is in.
We've had shutdown.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Absent RCA.
Hey, everybody.
Steady. Roger. Okay, fellas, steady now. Stay with it. Keep your eye on it.
The Eagle has landed.
Don't relax yet.
Tranquility. We copy
Looks
you on
beautiful.
the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, keep your eye on it. Everything is steady. Steady as a rock.
Okay, we're going to be busy for a minute. After I'm on, take care of the descent. I'll get this bus repaired.
Okay, our flight controller is about 45 seconds to T1, stay no stay.
Flight, that
Go, guys.
14 plus 2 looks
He's
beautiful.
getting ready to bend. Keep your eye on it.
Very smooth touchdown.
Okay, keep the chatter.
Hey, this is good, Bob. It didn't drop the platform.
Roger.
I was wrong, buddy.
Roger.
Things look okay. Made a proper
Okay, T1, stay no stay. Retro. Stay. Vital. Stay. Guidance. Stay. Control. Stay. Calcom. Stay. PNC. Stay. Ecom. Stay. Surgeon. Stay. Capcom, we're stay for T1.
Oxidizer. Repeat, bending oxidizer.
Roger. Roger, Eagle, and you are stay for T1.
Margins looking good. We're coming up on our nominal here.
Okay, all flight controllers, gonna go for landing. Retro. Go. Vital. Go. Guidance. Go. Control.
And
Go. Calcom.
go.
GNC. Go. Ecom. Roger.
Go.
Capcom, we're go for landing. Eagle, Houston, you're go for landing. Over.
Back in 10 minutes. Margin is about 4.5.
Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet. Copy. Alarm. Alarm. 1201. 1201.
Roger,
That's the TCP. You just lost there, Bill.
Roger, I just see that.
Go. Same type. We're go.
T1D. Flight set
Just
right
leave it alone. It's
2,000
okay.
feet. Into the ag, 47 degrees.
Roger.
47 degrees.
How's our margin looking, Bob?
And then I would have to go into that, trying to figure out what was going on. And it was the same thing. And so
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Happy New Year to everyone. This is, as far as I know, the first debate on this subject in the year 2020. So let's get down to it. As usual, I'm Dead Kennedy in Space. With me today is HipHop Hippie. Say hi.
What's up?
And
HipHop Hippie.
awesome. And we also have Jared from 82 Productions moderating today. How are you today, sir?
I am doing fine, actually. Looking forward to it, and my hope is that this will be the last time people will hear me until the end. But of course, that will depend on you two fine gentlemen. Indeed. Yes, the perfect moderator never has to step in, but we shall see. So I think if unless you have any objections, Hippie, I think maybe just a couple minutes each for an intro. Doesn't need to be a perfectly timed thing. Just talk for a couple minutes, intro your position, and then I'll go, or the other way around if you want.
That's cool. So you want me to go first?
Sure, unless you don't want to.
No, I'll go first. It's cool.
All right.
So, HipHop Hippie, a.k.a. Mad Mardigan, killing trolls. So trolls, go hide under your bridges. And if there's no vacancy under the bridges, just go jump in a dumpster or something. But I also want to say hi to my fiance, Darlene. She's in the chat. Be nice to her, please. And also wanted to say hi to all the CIA agents, NASA agents in the chat. I know you guys watch me. It's all good. It's okay. The Earth is flat. No big deal. I'm actually a bumpy earther. Because there are mountains and hills and shit, and there's no curvature. There's no visible curvature. That's the whole reason why the flat Earth exists. It's because there's no visible curvature, and we don't trust the people that are telling us that the Earth is a globe. It's that simple. I mean, when you're like going through all these conspiracies, you learn that people lie to you. It's, you know, it gets to a point where you just don't believe anything, you know, and you want to see like hardcore evidence. You want to see it for yourself. And if you can't see it for yourself, then you really just have a belief until you actually see it for yourself. So I don't know. I'm kind of I have a few questions to ask after the intro. So,
Okay.
but
All
yeah,
right.
I'm done.
All right. I'll say a couple things and then you can go ahead with your questions if that's all right. So, my position obviously is that the Earth is a globe. We've known this for about 2,000 years, and my main issue here, because HipHop Hippie, you found my channel and commented on one of my videos, and you said your primary concern was that you felt the heliocentric model begs the question by assuming that the world is a globe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I find that an interesting position to have when you don't have a model yourself, and the entire FE model, or rather the entire FE movement, begs the question by assuming that there is a conspiracy to conceal the shape of the Earth, which would amount to millions of people being in on it.
Yep.
So you have no problem that you're begging the question then.
Well, I don't really think it's begging the question because I feel like a model is a fallacy in itself. It's affirming the consequent. It's like we don't live on a model. We live in reality. Like we don't have a model because there is no model. It's reality.
Well, that's actually a reification fallacy, assuming that
reification.
assuming that a construct is physical reality, but scientific constructs actually kind of divert that by providing evidence for the model.
Okay.
You know, it's not. We're not taught that we live on a model. We're taught a model that explains the world around us.
Yeah. So you're saying like you deduce pretty much everything from the model. Is that what you're saying?
No, you learn things from the model.
Well, you have to assume that it's a model, like that. Like I like to start at like a base point, like no assumptions. Like it's not flat or round. Like I go outside and I see hills and I see mountains. I'm like, okay, it's bumpy. No curvature. You know, I have no reason to think it's a ball. None at all.
Okay, and what's your explanation for what's beyond the horizon? Is that a issue of perspective for you?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask is what kind of glober are you? Because it seems like there's two camps when it comes to the globe model, and one camp says they can see curvature at sea level, and the other camp says you can't see curvature at all because the Earth is too big. And I need some clarification because whenever I, debate people in comments, it's kind of a contradiction. Am I right?
Well, I disagree that there is a contradiction. I mean, you can see curvature at sea level if you're talking about side-to-side curvature. Of course, you can't see you can't see the curve of the Earth from the ground. Of course not. But you can take a wide image of the horizon and compress it down, and you will find curvature.
Well, see, I've seen these images, and at first glance, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's pretty crazy evidence, Like to me, I was like, oh, okay, well, they might actually have something. But then I'm like, then I start to realize the horizon is equidistant 360 degrees around us. So as I turn my head, the horizon is still going to be flat. So compressing these images, it doesn't compute with me, like, because you're turning your head 360 degrees and you're seeing flat. If the Earth did curve in those compression images, you would think that as you turn your head 360 degrees around you, you would see a curve. That's another contradiction. Is you're saying that there is no curve. You're saying that you can't see curve at sea level, but when you compress it, you can see it. And that's a contradiction, because how can you see the curve when you compress it if there is no curve when you turn your head 360 degrees?
Well, it's basically because your eye isn't a wide-angle lens. Your senses are limited, and your senses will lie to you. This is something we know. You can't deny that our senses are not entirely reliable.
Well, what is the horizon to you? Is the horizon the curve? Is that what is it to you? What is the horizon?
The horizon is where the sky meets the ground.
Okay, so it's not so are you saying it's not a physical location?
I'm not sure what you mean by a physical location.
Well,
Like-
you're saying, well, the globe, like, this is what I'm talking about, is some globe believers, they think the horizon obstructs something because ships go over the horizon. They go behind the horizon.
Mhm.
Well, you're saying that the horizon is the curve because that's what ships are going over.
Yeah. Okay, if you want to call the horizon, I mean it's a point that's relative to the viewer, right? So it doesn't have an exact location, but yes, it is essentially where the Earth starts curving and you stop seeing.
But see, okay, now when we see footage of this, it appears the ships do go over the horizon. I'm not denying that. You know, like there is footage of this.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get into an airplane and you fly 37,000 feet, you see the horizon out the window. So it can't possibly be an actual physical curve because you're seeing it out of an airplane window.
You're seeing more of it though from the airplane window. You see more with
Well,
height.
No, but see, you're saying that that's where it starts to curve at sea level, though. That's what I'm trying to say is, how could it be a physical curve if you're seeing the horizon, the same horizon? It's a horizon. There's not multiple horizons on a globe. You're seeing the horizon out of the airplane window. Like, you're not looking down at it. If you're sitting level in the airplane and you look out, you will see the horizon out of the window straight away. You're not going to be looking out the window, looking down at it.
Well, I mean, I've already said horizon is a relative viewpoint. So
Well, yeah, but you're also saying, but you also did say that it's the curve. So which is it? Is it the curve or is it just a limiting circle of our vision?
how is it a limiting circle of our vision? It's
Well, that's
the
what-
curve, and when you go higher, you
limitation.
see more of the curve.
You don't see more of the curve.
Yes, you do. The distance
curve-
you can see
there is
increases
no
with
curve.
altitude.
No, there is no curve. Because if it is the curve, when you get in the airplane, it's not going to move up with you, and that's what it does. That's why you can see it out of the window.
Are you talking about moving up with you?
The horizon rises with the observer.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
There's plenty of evidence for horizon drop. You can do it with a
I
drone. You can do it
have-
with a plane.
I have a video showing you that the horizon rises with the observer. If
Okay.
you'd like to play that.
I've got plenty of videos that show the opposite, but sure, go for it.
Cool. All right. Sorry. I'm gonna tell you I know we discussed this earlier. Sorry for people in chat, but he's gonna have to look up the video for me. But this is a time lapse of a plane flying from Chicago to San Francisco, I think. Hold on one second. I'm looking for it right now. I had it ready, but my computer froze, so give me a second. Sorry, guys.
No worries. While you're doing that, I'm gonna pull up some counter evidence.
Okay. All right. The video is called. Should I just link it to the YouTube link?
Sure. If you want to just do that in the Meets chat.
I don't know how to. Well, I don't know how to put it on the Meets chat because I think it'll kick me out if I do that. Here, I'll just tell you the title.
Sure.
It's capital letter DJC / this is now, and then you have in parentheses Chicago to San Fran flight time lapse 298 or 2,989 kilometers over flat Earth.
All right. Got that. Okay. Let's see. How can I'm just gonna set up a display capture here so people can see it. Display capture. Good. Okay, you guys are seeing how the sauce is just made here, but can't do anything about it. Okay, so that should be. Is that it?
No one. Yeah. No, shit, I can't see it on my phone. I don't know where I would go to see it. because you don't have like screen share on Meets right now.
Right. Okay, it's a 5-minute video.
Yep, it's a 5-minute video. But it starts out when they're on the ground, and if you put like a marker where the horizon is, as he flies up, the horizon doesn't change. The wing does go above the horizon, but the horizon does not change from where it's at.
So I just put my cursor over it. I put my cursor over the horizon when it was on the ground and kept it there until it rose up, and the cursor is now at the clouds, not at the ground, at the clouds.
No, but that is the horizon. You see that line? That is the horizon. That's the horizon line.
So is the horizon on the ground or in the clouds?
No, the horizon is not. It's not an actual location. It's just a limiting point of your vision. That's why it rises with you. It's not a physical location. That's the line. The horizon is the line.
It really doesn't explain how you can see further when you go up.
You have your own personal horizon. That's what it is. It's all because of perspective. So no matter where you are, you're gonna have a horizon, and it's always gonna follow you up, down. You know, that's what you're seeing out of the window.
Oh, hang on. People are saying that your audio is a little lower than mine. I'm going to turn you up a bit. There we go.
And I don't think they can see it on the screen either. I'm not sure.
I think
they were. I was keeping an eye on it.
Okay.
All right. You took it down.
Well, yeah. I played it for a few moments there until the point was made, I think. But I mean, I don't know that we're going to agree on horizon here because.
And if you watch the full video, there's parts where there is no clouds and the ground appears to be meeting it meets like a blue line and then it meets space, or what you guys would call space.
Well, speaking of that, that's one of my issues here is that I mean you can talk all you want about not seeing the curve, but you don't really have an alternative. What's your model? Where's the sun? Well, explain anything on the flat Earth model.
Well, see, you guys want us to give to like this is where it's weird because I don't know the shape of the Earth. Okay, flat is not a shape. Flat is just an explanation of what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing curvature, that you would expect to see if you lived on a ball, because a ball curves away from you in every direction. Like, do you believe that you're not at the top of the ball wherever you stand? Like, if you're on the globe, are you at the top everywhere you stand from your perspective?
There is no top on a globe.
Well, you're at the highest point of the ball. You're at the top of the ball.
Ground level. Yeah. But that's not the top.
It's constantly curving away from you. It's constantly curving away from you. Every direction. It's going to start to curve away from you right at your feet, dude. It's not going to it's a ball. It's going to curve away from you every direction.
And it does because we can't see very far.
Well, we can see far. We can see too far. There's plenty of videos of this.
That's an old argument. I was pulling up something really quickly here. There we go. Proof that a basketball is flat. When you zoom in far enough on it, you can't see any curvature.
Okay. It's now. Thank you for posting that. Now the camera taking the picture. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That camera, if you were to replicate this, if you were to move that camera, if you would turn it like I'm turning my head 360 degrees, that will eventually curve away. It will curve away from you. It won't. It's gonna curve.
But
it's a ball.
You're seeing the edge right there, and it's not curving.
Well, they're zooming in on it. But what I'm saying is,
you're seeing an edge.
But you're
seeing essentially the horizon of the basketball, and there's no curve to it.
But what I'm saying is as you rotate that camera, okay, if you were to rotate it 360 degrees, if you were to start turning it, it would eventually curve away. Also,
in what direction?
well, whichever way you're turning it, it's gonna slope away. It's gonna slope down to your. It's gonna slope. Like if you were to move it to the right, it would slope down.
Why?
It's not because it's a ball.
That's not what a ball would do.
What are you talking about?
If you're standing on the surface of a very large ball, you look in every direction, it looks flat. We can see this because here's a flat basketball.
No, you're not, but see, you're only looking at it through one point of view. As like on Earth, as we rotate our head 360 degrees, the horizon is always going to be flat. This, if you rotate the camera, see like what it's doing right here, it's creating a horizon. And as you turn the camera, like you were to turn your head in real life, that would slope away. It would slope away. It wouldn't be flat if you turn the camera.
I disagree. It definitely would be. I wish I had a better example than this, because there are other people who have done similar things to this, and they do turn it, and you can see that it's the same in every direction. It's going to look the same in every single direction.
Well, I'd like to see that. That'd be really cool if I could see that.
All right. Well, I didn't come with that ready, unfortunately, but maybe I can link you to that afterwards.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
No problem.
But again, I'm still having these issues with a lack of any kind of understand. Like, here's the issue with complaining about the heliocentric model. I don't think you really understand how much the heliocentric model explains. We know how far away the lights in the sky are and what they're made of. What are the lights in the sky to you? Why are they there?
How do you know something is that far away?
Spectroscopy.
Explain.
We know the speed of light. We know light's interactions with the electromagnetic spectrum. We can analyze it and figure things out.
What's the speed of light based off of? It's based off of a 93 million mile away sun. Like
it's based off local light.
Distance to the sun.
It's based off local light. The year is 2020. We have high-speed cameras. We've filmed light at this point. Would you like to see?
Sure, yeah.
Well, if you're able to take a look at the stream, you can see light filmed at, what is that, 100 billion frames per second?
What, looks like blue smoke?
Yes, it's light moving through a bottle of partially water and partially milk.
It's light? Well, the room is light anyway, so I don't understand how this proves light's like you're just showing me kind of like a cartoon.
That's not a cartoon. That's nice, but your judgment is wrong. You know, a cartoon is on the Disney Channel. Cartoons are for little kids. This is not a cartoon. If you're too stupid to tell the difference between a cartoon and a scientific demonstration.
So they're seeing this blue smoke in reality. They're seeing that.
Can you see 100 billion frames per second? No? Okay. No, we're done. No, you can't see that fast. We're done.
Are they seeing that smoke? Are they seeing that smoke in reality?
They can't see that smoke. They can't see that fast. The camera is observing it. Now, let me explain how the image was made so that maybe you'll understand.
It's in light, though. It's in light. The room is in light. So how?
Allow me to explain how the image is made, and maybe you'll understand.
Okay. No need to get all upset, bud. It's all good.
Yeah. Because you're interrupting. You're being a piece of shit. Now, of course, the room is lit around them. Now, keep watching the video. You'll see when they were actually filming it, the room is dark. What they've done is composited over a light image of the bottle, and then the only other layer that's in there is this layer, the layer of light, because that's all the camera can pick up.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, whatever you say, dude. I mean, if that's proof for you, then cool, whatever. I mean,
how is it not?
Well, it's a fucking cartoon. It looks like
it's
a cartoon.
not a cartoon.
It's
like,
not.
You keep saying that, but it's not a cartoon. I explained to you how it was made. You can go and replicate this yourself at Caltech.
I can replicate blue light, looking like clouds floating through a fucking water bottle. I mean, what are you talking about, dude?
Yes, you can replicate this experiment. You see how the bottle says Caltech on it? That's a university. You can go there.
Oh, okay. I'd like to see them shoot blue light through a fucking water bottle. I'd love to see that. Definitely.
All right. Well, they did it for those two British dumbasses. I'm sure they'll do it for you. Now,
okay, whatever you say, bud.
Once we've established the speed of light, you have a lot of problems with your lack of model. For instance, we can fire light at the moon, and it takes approximately 1.3 seconds to get there, and then 1.3 seconds to come back.
See, this is the problem with you guys. You guys always say we can do this, we can do that. You haven't done shit, bro.
That's not how the scientific method works. Peer review is a thing.
Well, first off, scientific method. What is the scientific method? Can you please explain to me?
Really? We're doing this? No.
I want to know.
I'm explaining to you that peer review exists. Peer review is an essential step in the scientific method. We review other people's work.
Review it. How did you peer review it? Did you shoot a laser up at the moon? Did you do that?
You're missing the point.
Well,
peer
I'm
review
just saying,
makes.
You have a belief.
No, I don't.
A belief. You haven't done any of this.
Peer review makes science a collective effort. We, as in humanity, because we're not these paranoid introverts who think everybody is out to get us.
Well, I'm sorry, but when you say we, you're including me in that, and I haven't done that. So,
well, it's not my fault that you're too lazy to go to Caltech and figure this shit out.
It's not my fault that I don't want to believe. I don't want to believe. I don't want to believe that they can do that. I want to be able to do that myself. Why can't I just take a laser and shoot it up at the moon and then have photons fly back and I can measure that?
You can.
Oh, really? Really?
Yes.
Really, I can. Okay, I'll go buy a fucking laser and I'll shoot it up at the moon and nothing's going to happen except the fucking laser is going to shoot up in the sky.
Yeah, because you're not going to fucking aim right. It requires precision. It requires effort. That's something flat earthers don't have.
So why don't you go do this and prove it to yourself instead of having a belief?
Can't afford it.
Oh. Well,
happily do it when I get the money.
So can you at least admit that you have a belief that they do this?
No.
Why?
Because it's not a belief, because peer review is a thing. I don't need to have a belief in order to trust the words of thousands, nay, millions, nay, billions of people.
Thousands and okay, so you've talked to all these billions of people that have done this. You've
Irrelevant.
Talked to every
peer
single
review
one
is a
of them.
thing.
Oh, and who writes a peer review? 1,000 people?
See, here's the problem with your take on science. Without peer review, every single person who wants to do anything ever needs to start at rubbing two sticks together to make fire. That's not how science works.
You're a peer, dude. You have the ability to do this. Why don't you go and fucking prove their claims? How come you won't do that?
Because I don't need to, because peer review exists.
Because you have a belief, because you believe that
it's
they
not
can.
A belief. The evidence is out there. You can
have,
read
you
everyone's
have a religion,
work.
Bro.
No.
You have a religion.
Hang
you
on.
have a religious belief.
No, I don't.
Hang on. Let's make sure that we're actually understanding each other here. When you say it is a belief, hippie, what is it exactly that you are implying? What is it exactly that you mean by saying it's just a belief?
He believes that people can
explain it without using the word belief. What do you mean by that term, belief?
Means you have it on faith. Like, you have no evidence. You just take it on word of mouth. Like, that's it.
That's not how peer review is done. It's not done by a word of mouth. It's all documented.
What I'm saying is you have the belief because you haven't reviewed it. All you've done, you can read some data, okay, that somebody somewhere supposedly gathered, and then you're like, oh yeah, they did it, without even having to do it. Like, that's a belief, man. That's like reading a book. That's like reading the Bible and being like, yeah, oh yeah, yep, that's 100% correct. Yep.
So where's all the data in the Bible?
I'm using it as an analogy. Like, that's
a bad analogy. Because science has data that you can.
Well, it has data that you can do to recreate whatever they're doing. So if they're shooting lasers up at the moon and having photons fly back and you capture them, why can't you do that?
Because I don't go to Caltech. Do you understand who they is in this scenario? Like, they firing lasers at the moon? Students at universities.
Who is they?
Students at
you say billions of people have done this, so who is they?
Students at universities do it.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
From my research, it just seems to be one little observatory and one little lady sitting in front of a computer from back in the 1980s who gets a beep back on her computer, and she's like, oh, we captured a photon, and That proves that the moon is this far away. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Are you a skeptic or are you not a skeptic? I mean, what's the deal
have
here?
you been to the Antarctic ice wall?
No.
Have you touched the dome? Have you been up high enough to see if space is real or not? No, I'm doing exactly what you're doing. You haven't proved any of it yourself either.
Whoever said anything about a dome? I didn't say I believe in a dome.
Oh, okay. So you're one. So it's not my fault that your model is incredibly inconsistent. Do you believe in a dome?
I don't believe in a dome.
So where does the pressure gradient end?
I don't know what's up there. I haven't been up there. I haven't touched a dome. I haven't been past the dome to see if it's a dome. You know? What the fuck?
So you have a whole lot of I don't know and I don't trust anybody.
I'm just saying. You're saying I believe there's a dome when I don't even know if there is a dome. Like, that's a straw man. I have no idea if there's a dome.
Okay, I'll accept that. You don't know if there's a dome or not. This is my point. What you have is I don't know and I don't trust anybody, and quite frankly, that's not good enough.
No, well, that's not good enough for you, but...
That's not good enough for science.
Dude, science is observing, coming up with a hypothesis, experimentation.
Well, then go observe the dome before you make a hypothesis about it.
Does science prove anything?
Does science prove anything? No.
But it proved the globe, didn't it?
No.
Oh, so it didn't prove the globe. Science didn't prove. So you have no scientific evidence of the globe.
Science doesn't prove things. Science provides evidence for things.
Science proves your hypothesis. It proves a cause and effect relationship. Dude.
Experimenting proves your hypothesis, but okay.
It's a method, dude. You observe something, then you hypothesize, then you do an experiment to falsify the hypothesis.
So again, what experiments have you performed? What hypothesis have you come up with? What observations have you done?
I've been at the fucking sea level and I see the horizon's flat.
So you went outside, looked around, and said, "Huh, looks flat." That's science.
Yeah, that's observe.
That's science.
You observe a flat horizon, and then you look into like, why do I observe a flat horizon?
Where did you do any experiments?
I don't. All you have to do is put a fucking camera. All you have to do is stand on a flat surface.
How did you test your hypothesis?
Hang on. I do have to step in here at this point, Hippie. If you want Kevin to answer your questions, you need to provide the same respect back and answer his questions.
I think I have been answering his questions.
So how did you test your hypothesis?
I didn't do an experiment.
Okay. All right, so you didn't do any science, but you're proclaiming that looking around and saying it looks flat is science.
Well, I'm observing. This is science. I'm observing, and I see it's flat.
Okay, that's a step of science.
What reason do I have to think that it's a globe if I see flat?
Because that's how science works. You test your hypothesis. You test your observations.
Well, okay. Well, then you get up in an airplane, and then you fly up to 37,000 feet, and then you see a horizon. You see the horizon is flat. So it obviously can't be a curve at sea level if you see the horizon out of the window. That's so. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's not a curve.
I'm gonna need some math or some data or something to back that up. Aside from looks flat from up here.
Well, I'm debunking your guys' claim, saying that you can see curve at sea level. You can't see curve at sea level.
You can if you compress an image from side to side.
No, you can't.
Except you did, and you've already said you've seen those images.
MC Toon showed a composite of a horizon that was compressed, and he put two pictures together. You could see like the cut where the two pictures are.
Is a composite fake?
No. What
so
I'm
what's the issue?
Is the one of those pictures that he uses a horizon with? It's like perfectly flat, dude. Like I turned it vertical, and I'm like looking at it, and it's flat. But see the way he put the composite together, it made it look like it's fucking curved.
He put two images together and then compressed them from side to side. That's all he did.
Well, no, he took two compressed images and put them together side to side.
I don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that's how the image was made. I do believe the two images were taken and then they were compressed.
Like I said, it doesn't matter because as you turn your head 360 degrees, you would see a curve if there is a curve, because you're just taking your field of view and compressing it. So as you turn your head, you should see a curve, because if there's a curve in that picture, a real curve, not some illusion or distortion with the camera, you would see a curve in real life as you turn your head 360.
That doesn't make any sense, though. You're
sorry,
talking
it doesn't make
you're
sense
talking
to you.
about
It makes perfect
you're
sense
talking
to
about
me.
seeing the same thing. Like,
You're not
your
seeing
eyes
360
aren't-
degrees around you when you take a picture. You're seeing your field of view, and
right.
in reality, we can turn our head. We can actually like look.
And then suddenly
turn
the
our
part that
head
you could
and
see
that the
before,
horizon stays consistently flat.
except here's the problem: when you turn your head, the part that you could see, you can't see anymore. The image can.
Okay, tell me this: if you could see the curve at sea level, how come you can't see it from a plane?
I disagree that you can't see it from a plane. I've seen numerous images of curvature from a plane.
Well, I just showed you a time lapse showing no curvature at all. I don't know. It's like we're coming to an impasse because this is where the argument is win or loss. It's if there's curvature, if there's not.
And
If
here's
there's
the
no
thing:
curvature, then you ain't got nothing, dude. You ain't got nothing.
well, that's part of the problem here. Is that again, you're assuming your conspiracy, because if you want to see curve, there's let's see, how long has this debate been going on? Probably like a half hour. There's been 3 full images of the Earth taken in this time. But you can't prove that they're not real. That's part of the issue.
You can't prove that they are real. That's the whole problem. Is you can't prove that they're real. You're just like, oh yeah, those are real. Those like definitely real. Because I've been brainwashed because they're supposedly satellites in space that can take a picture of the Earth every 15 minutes. Like, give me a break, dude.
Mm-hmm. So again, it comes down to I don't know and I don't trust anybody.
No. Have you been to space?
Don't need to.
You don't need to go to space, huh?
No.
To
Would
know
love
that it's
to,
real.
but I don't need to.
Oh, okay. Well, then you have a belief that it's real.
No. That's not how beliefs work. Beliefs aren't I haven't seen it myself, but I think it's real. That's not what a belief is.
That is what a belief is.
No, it isn't. Because I can provide evidence that this thing exists even though I haven't seen it myself.
Well, I could show you a picture of King Kong, but that doesn't make it real.
Okay, and I can
King
prove
Kong
that the
real?
image of King Kong is fake. You can't prove that the image of the Earth is fake.
Pictures aren't proof of anything, dude. Pictures are not proof of anything. So don't
why are
even
we
know
still
why you're
going
trying
on?
to use that.
So we're still going on about it, even though like your argument is I don't trust anybody. Like, do you realize how many space agencies are in the world? How many employees are in those space agencies?
Dude,
how much work is done?
See, this is where this is where we always have a problem is you trust people, I don't.
No, it's
Okay?
not that I don't trust people. It's that you can't provide evidence for a reason for me to not trust them.
Well, we can go back, dude. We can go back to freaking 9/11 if you want, man. I mean, we could talk about that. Do you think fires brought down those buildings?
I'm not particularly interested in 9/11.
Well, I'm just saying, like, this is the process that all flat earthers take. Like, no flat earther goes into flat earth. Like, they have to have their trust. You know,
They have to be paranoid.
They look into stuff, and sometimes, man, the evidence is overwhelming. It's kind of ridiculous to like trust government at this point and trust anything at this point, because once you start with like 9/11, and then I mean, can I ask you a question, dude?
Sure.
Do you think 9/11 was an inside job?
I don't really care. Personally, no, but I'm not 100% certain because I don't really care.
This
Now,
is
hang
why
on.
we're always going to disagree,
But
though.
let me ask you a quick question then.
Okay.
Do you believe Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Well, I don't.
I
I don't think he killed himself. I think there is a conspiracy there.
Okay, so
You know why?
you can at least why?
Because there's overwhelming evidence for it.
Okay, yeah, and if you think Epstein killed himself or didn't kill himself, then if you look at 9/11, dude, it is fucking ridiculous
But here's the thing:
Like,
neither 9/11 being conspiracy or Epstein killing himself, it doesn't make the Earth flat.
it does, because they say that science proved that fire took down the buildings. Like, they lie about science, man. Like, all this science is pseudoscience. It's not real science. You guys just think it's science because you guys are, like, no offense, but you guys have been brainwashed, man. And I'm here trying to wake you guys up. Like, I'm trying to wake all you guys up, because the sooner you guys wake up, the sooner we can get this shit on the road into, like, a better life for everybody.
Well, I think we're gonna have to kind of agree to disagree here, because, like I said, I'm not particularly interested in 9/11. I don't know the specifics. I can't speak on it.
Well, maybe you should, dude. Maybe you should go check it out and look and see how impressive the lie is. Like, these guys are not fucking retards, man. These guys are geniuses. They lie about everything, and they set up their whole system on lies, dude.
So
it's one lie after another.
So again, who's they?
Ridiculous. The rulers, man. The
Who are they?
Illuminati, I guess. If you want to call them Illuminati, the fucking powers that be, the powers that created this whole system.
So they control all 63 space agencies. They're related to all 567 people that have been into space. They're related to all 17,000 employees of NASA. You do realize you're talking about millions of people here that need to be in on this conspiracy.
Yeah, and
that's not how a conspiracy works. A conspiracy is supposed to be the 1% controlling the 99%, not the other way around.
Well, that's exactly what they do. The 1% controls the 90. You think a million people is 99% of 8 billion?
I didn't say a million. I said millions.
It can't. How do you know it's millions? See, this is a problem. Like, we don't know how many people are involved in this shit, dude.
Well, I did some basic math on this once, and I stopped counting at about 3.5 million.
Well, see, this is another problem: is media. You guys, I don't like. I don't even want to bring up this, but like Sandy Hook. If you looked into that, man, the media is totally complicit with the official narrative. The
media has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. We need to get off of this, because
they're the ones who program you every day. They're the ones like CNN.
We need to get off of this because the media has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. CNN is not reporting on the shape of the Earth.
It doesn't matter. They show
Fox
you images
News
of
is
the
not
globe
reporting
Earth
on the
every
shape
day.
of the
They
Earth.
brainwash you every day with images of the globe Earth and narratives that support the globe Earth doctrine, dude.
All right, let me try to help get this back on track to the actual subject at hand. HipHop Hippie, can you demonstrate where in the mainstream media that you have just referenced where they show that what is taught about geometry is wrong?
Geometry? What does that have to do with anything?
Geometry has to deal with shapes. We're talking about the shape of the Earth. So let's stick with the direct related topics. So does mainstream media say or show anything that would devalue, if not completely discredit, the principles of the mathematic discipline called geometry?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so the media has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. Got it.
Well, no, they do, because they give you images of the globe Earth constantly.
So hang on.
Entertainment does too. In every
let me ask you a question then.
Science fiction movie, dude, you see the fucking curvature of the Earth.
Let me ask you a question.
Every fucking scientific.
Let me ask you a question.
Movie.
If I start a company that makes paper cups and my logo is a globe, and I just chose that because it looked neat, am I indoctrinating everybody?
In a way, yes. Not knowingly, but yes, in a way you are.
Okay. It really doesn't fly to me, because what we're talking about here is corporations. We're talking about people. This idea that there's this unified group who are trying to control the entire world is utterly fucking ridiculous, because it ignores all of world politics. You now need to step up and claim and try to provide some evidence for the fact that all world politics for the last 200 years are fake.
Well, you have the Bilderberg Group, you have the Carlyle Group, you have the Trilateral Commission, you have dude, it's endless. You have Bohemian Grove. You have
And
Skull
how-
and Bones. Dude, you can go down the list of
Here's the problem,
all
though.
these
All
crazy
of these
societies that
all
work
of these
together.
societies don't include the entire globe. There's nobody from the Bilderberg group in fucking Cambodia. Okay? There's nobody from Bohemian Grove in Lithuania.
Cambodia is not sending people to space. They're not.
They have a space program.
Their space shit.
They have a space
then
program.
They're faking it. Then they're faking it.
Oh, okay. So now they are in on it.
Who runs? Who pays for that shit? Who?
The government of Cambodia.
The people of Cambodia.
The government of Cambodia.
Yeah, exactly. The government of Cambodia.
Yes. So not the government of the world,
working
because
together,
that doesn't
dude.
exist.
That's why they have all these factions. Like, that's why they have United Nations. The fucking dude. This is like basic conspiracy shit, dude. Like, you need to go back and research how.
No, I think you do, because you haven't provided any evidence that Cambodia is involved in a worldwide conspiracy, or Lithuania, or any of the many nations of the world.
If they're promoting the globe, then they're involved.
You need to prove that.
Because the globe ain't real, dude. Jesus Christ. How many times I gotta tell you? Fuck. It's all brainwashing. It's brainwashing.
You're just spewing platitudes that mean nothing.
Well, you think that they mean nothing because you
No,
are
because
ignorant.
it doesn't mean anything. Provide concrete evidence that Cambodia or Lithuania are in on a worldwide conspiracy. I'll wait.
If they're part of some
Assumption. You need to prove that. Provide physical evidence. Provide a document. Provide a faked video. Provide something real.
Well, I would love to if I could fucking spend 18 years fucking teaching you guys, but I can't because you want to stay here for 18 years as I go through every fucking piece of fucking evidence I fucking look throughout the years.
Pick one.
I mean, dude, this didn't take.
Can you not
this
pick
wasn't
one?
This wasn't like a 2-year deal. This is like a 15 to 20-year deal, man. Like, I've been researching this shit for a long time, man, and flat Earth is like the fucking holy grail. Like, when I first saw flat Earth, I was looking into the Holocaust. Okay, I started seeing flat Earth videos pop up.
We're not going there. We are not going there.
It's just a segue.
Don't even bring it up. Do not bring it up. Don't say that word again.
Okay, that's fine. I saw flat Earth stuff, and at first I was like, dude, this shit is fucking ridiculous. Like, there was no way I was gonna fucking believe that shit. And I was like, I got bored one night, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch this video. And dude, it took me 15 minutes to fucking realize that I've been under a fucking trance for fucking my whole life, dude. My whole life. I can remember when I was young and they were teaching me about the globe in kindergarten, and I was skeptical back then. Even when they showed me the globe, I was like, man, like, you say I live on that? Like, how come I don't fall off the bottom? And they're like, gravity. And you're like, gravity? What's that? And they're like, a magical force that keeps you stuck to the ball. And
Your teachers told you it was a magical
fuck?
force, then they were shitty teachers. Can you provide some evidence now?
I'm being facetious and paraphrasing, man.
Can you provide some
Like,
evidence now? Can you provide anything worthwhile aside from a crappy story?
When you were young, when you were young and your teachers were teaching about the globe, you didn't second guess it at all?
Don't really remember.
You don't remember being like, man, that's kind of strange how water can stick to a ball like that.
See, it doesn't really matter because I can question it now and I see no issues with it.
Yeah, but there is an issue when you're teaching kids that it's true.
Except
And
that you can provide evidence that it's true. It
Well, you
doesn't
can't
matter if
provide
I believed
evidence.
it or not when I was
Show
a
me
kid.
Water, fine. Show me water sticking to a spinning ball and not falling off the bottom.
Go outside.
Oh, see, you're assuming that it's a ball already. This is what I'm talking
No,
about.
because this is what you do. You ask that question where you say, can you demonstrate Earth on top of Earth? It's a fucking stupid question and I won't have it.
No, I just want you to prove that water can stick to a ball without falling off.
All right,
That's all.
before I allow you to continue with the mischaracterizations of just calling it a ball, let's try to get this back on some sort of logical path. So before you agreed that the media doesn't say anything against the discipline of geometry, is that correct, Hippie?
I said not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you yourself have any problems with the discipline of geometry and even further into trigonometry?
I didn't really get into it. You know, wasn't math. Math wasn't really my
There's a big
my
surprise.
forte. I was more like a history buff. You know, I liked history,
Okay, but
so I
do
don't
you
really.
do you see where you have the potential for being exploited by a specific lack of knowledge that you have in the research that you've done?
Well, you can make it seem that way. You can try and exploit me, but
No,
you have to.
I'm asking you if you think it is possible that you have been exploited by people because of a lack of knowledge in a particular
What
area that you just admitted to.
what
No,
he's saying
no, I
is
don't. I don't.
is
I
it
don't.
not
I
at
don't
all
think. I don't.
possible that you were fooled about flat Earth the way you think I was fooled about the globe?
No. Nope.
Why not?
Because those people don't really like Eric Dubay. He was the first video I watched, and his 200 proofs.
Shocker.
Well,
Which were all debunked the day after it came out.
I haven't seen any debunks about it. So
You
I can't
haven't
comment.
looked hard enough.
Well, no. You guys are just assuming that it's a globe and that he's wrong. But what I'm saying is he has nothing to gain from the shit, man. He's not
Really?
he's not making billion. How much is the space? How much does the whole space? How much does space entertainment bring in a year, dude?
How much does it bring in?
Yeah,
Like, what's the return on investment?
trillions of dollars. It brings in trillions of dollars, like entertainment wise, NASA wise, SpaceX wise, T-shirts, clothes. It's everywhere. Space is a huge. It's a racket. It's a fucking racket.
Okay, well, I disagree because just because merchandise is sold of something or money is made off, like, it's a return on investment. Do you understand how NASA actually brings money back to the economy? Through technology.
No. What technology?
Oh, plenty of technology. Let's see the
Like duct tape?
I don't know if duct tape is related to them or not, but you've got various aeronautics tech, a lot of auto tech. There's a type of enriched baby food that goes back to NASA because of their research into algae as a preservative.
Well, okay. I could even go as far to say as maybe that's all they're doing is inventing technology, but they're not going to space because, dude, space can't exist, bro.
Why not?
Because we have air pressure.
Oh, wait. Okay, so pressure gradient. All right, so you accept that there is a pressure gradient?
Yep.
Where does it stop and why?
I don't know where it stops.
That's great. Okay, so a whole lot more I don't know. Here's my assumption. It doesn't stop. It keeps going until it hits zero.
How do you know?
Because I've seen evidence for it.
Oh, you've seen evidence for it.
Yeah.
Okay. What from who? NASA?
No. Red's Rhetoric films a lot of rocket launches. You ever heard of him?
Yep.
A lot of his launches, the timing happens to be just right, where the launch is taking place at night, but once the rocket gains enough altitude, it starts getting lit by the sun, and you can see the gases coming out of the back of the rocket starting to expand wider and wider and wider. Then they expand so that you can't even see them anymore. That's space. That's the vacuum.
Well, to burn the gas, so there's no more gas to expand. There's nothing else igniting. There's no more.
It is igniting though.
Exhaust
It's still firing when it's in space.
But you assume it's in space. You're saying that it's in space
because I
It's
can
just
see
high
that
up
the
in the
gases
sky.
have expanded
It's
so
just high-
rapidly that they can no longer even be seen.
They expand when they're taking off. They expand rapidly when the rockets take off. They go everywhere. All that
there's a
smoke
limit.
goes everywhere.
But there's a limit. It won't expand infinitely.
Well, yeah, because it ran out of fuel. So
But it hasn't
there's
run out
no
of
more
fuel. The
exhaust.
rocket is still firing when you are seeing the gases spread thin in the vacuum.
Oh well, You can believe that.
It's not a belief. I'm telling you about things I've seen. How can you need to stop with this belief bullshit? Because when I tell you about things I've seen, that's not a belief. That's not how belief works. There's no God in heliocentrism. There's no dogma. There's no doctrine. It's not a religion. Get over it. Fuck your belief bullshit. It's such bullshit. That's all you have is assertions and bullshit. You've brought nothing to the table. You've brought absolutely nothing. You've wasted my time.
Well, I haven't wasted your time. I've debunked your globe, man.
You haven't done anything. You've said I don't know.
Your whole horizon is curved. Your horizon is not the curve, bro. It's not the curve. Sorry.
Okay, saying that doesn't debunk it. You haven't provided evidence for anything. You haven't debunked anything.
I provided you can go see the evidence yourself. Go get on an airplane.
No, okay, hang on.
Go get on an airplane.
Hippie, I need to call it out right there. You are using a double standard right now. You are being disingenuous with your argumentation. If you're telling him to go do something, and then when it's put back to you, you just deflect away from it, saying that, well, it's not about me. Sorry, that is being dishonest in this conversation.
What do you ask me to do? What do you ask me to do?
Anything.
Go shoot a laser at the moon?
Yes, that'd be great.
Well, actually,
you haven't even done it yourself. You haven't even done it yourself, and you're saying it's true. It's fucking crazy.
I have a suggestion that will actually get you the same resulting data, but through a methodology that is even easier to do. It is actually one that I have done myself. It's called an EME bounce. Ham radio operators do it often.
Okay.
It's literally sending an information signal towards the moon and waiting to hear the echo of it coming back. You can time from transmission to receive.
What is receiving the signal back?
The radio set.
I'm sorry, everyone. I forgot my mic.
So it's a radio signal.
I'm muted.
Yes.
How do you know it's not bouncing off the atmosphere? Don't they bounce?
I am so glad you asked that, because the way you can tell that it's not just bouncing off the atmosphere is because you use a directional antenna, and you transmit when the antenna is not pointed at the moon directly but slightly off of it, and you get no return. Then you point it directly at the moon, you get a return. You continue going the other way to where you're not at the moon anymore, and again, no return. The only time you get a return is when that directional antenna is fixed at the moon.
Okay. This isn't even science, dude. Like, what?
You don't even know what science is, as demonstrated earlier.
Observable.
What's the scientific method? HipHop Hippie, what's the scientific method?
What are you observing?
What's the scientific method? Go.
Observe.
What's the scientific method? Go.
I'm telling you right now.
No, it's not observe. That's a step. Keep going.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you stop interrupting me.
Then go.
Observe.
Go.
Okay, observe a natural phenomenon. Hypothesize. Experiment. That's pretty much all you need to know. I mean, it's pretty common sense.
No, you forgot the most important steps, which is analyze the results of the fucking experiment.
Oh, common sense.
And then you throw it out to the wolves of the scientific method. You throw it out to peer review, and they rip it to shreds. And maybe, if you're lucky, when it comes back, you're not a complete idiot.
Common sense.
If common sense were so common, we would not be having this conversation.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. How is that scientific? What are you observing?
In what I explained to you,
the EME bounce.
Yeah, you're observing an EME bounce.
Yes.
Okay. You're doing the experiment before the observation.
No, you observe the location of the moon in the sky.
So you just look at it. You're like, okay, the moon.
Yeah, it's there. I wonder how far away it is.
And then
I know I can use radiated transmission to determine the distance of something, because we know how long at what rate that signal travels. So, we don't?
No, this is what you're doing. You're observing. You're not observing a natural phenomenon. You're observing.
Yes, we are. The location of the moon in the sky.
No, you just said that you're observing the transmission bounce.
That's
what
the
you're
data
observing.
set. That is the data set.
That's what you're observing. You're not.
No.
You looking up at the moon is nothing. That's not distance to the moon.
And then your observation of looking at the horizon when you're standing at sea level is just as worthless.
Well, yeah, it's not a real. It's not.
Then
the
why did
horizon
you
is just a
mention it
limiting
earlier?
circle. The horizon is just a limiting circle, dude. It's
Then
not.
why
it's not
did
a
you
physical
mention
curve.
it earlier?
What do you? I'm saying. I'm debunking your claim that it's the curve.
You were asked very pointedly what you have done that was scientific, and you said, I went out to the ocean and looked at the horizon.
Well, yeah, you could just drive towards the beach and you see the horizon is at your eye level, dude.
So if my observation of the moon being in the sky is worthless, your observation that you just tried to say is also scientific is just as worthless.
No, because your observation, you're saying the proof is the observation.
No, stop using a double standard, hippie.
I'm not.
Yes,
I'm
you
not,
are.
Jared. No, I'm not. What I'm
Yes,
trying to
you
tell
are.
you. No, what I'm trying to tell you is you're observing the bounce. That's all you're observing.
No.
And the reason why you're observing that, the cause of that effect is somebody built the machine to receive it. That's it.
Then why is the signal not received when it's pointing at anything else?
That is the cause. Huh?
Do you know how a radio works?
No.
It's okay to say no.
Radio. Yeah, no, I don't. I've never built a radio. I don't shoot radio waves anywhere. So.
Don't you think you should know about a lot of these things before you try to criticize them?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, you think it's
you shouldn't know about something before you criticize it. You need to listen to the questions you are being asked, hippie. This is why I'm stepping in. This is why I've stepped in the way I have. Because what you're doing to me right now by trying to answer a question that I didn't ask you is what you've been doing to Kevin for almost an hour. You need to stop it. You need to listen. And you need to answer in accordance with what you are actually asked. And don't forget, we actually pay attention to the responses you give, which is why your whole, well, I've done scientific stuff, we know is bullshit.
I never said I really did scientific anything. I'm saying you have no science. None.
And
Zero.
You demonstrated repeatedly that you have no idea what science is. So that's a pretty worthless statement.
I debunked your claim.
You didn't debunk anything.
Yes, the horizon is not a curve.
Anything without
the horizon
evidence.
is not a curve. You guys say it's a curve. It's not a curve.
You saying that isn't you debunking it. Too bad.
It's
you
not
lose.
a curve if you can see it out of the window. If it rises with you, it's not a curve. If it's a curve, it's going to stay in the same spot. It's not going to rise with you.
The horizon doesn't rise with you.
It does. Get on an airplane. Go get on an airplane, man. Please.
So I can see the clouds
so
I can go and see the clouds at the same level as the ground was, and for some reason assume that those are the same thing. That's all you showed us.
No, you're doubling back because you purposefully showed the horizon with the cloud cover. Okay, if you kept playing that video, you'd see when there's no cloud cover, the ground meets the sky.
That would have been a really fucking great thing to bring up at the time. A little late now, buddy.
I brought it up back then. I told you back then. You just choose to deny what I told you. So
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I have to reiterate it.
Well, we've been going for about an hour here. I think we can pretty much call it here, because I think about a half hour of maybe Q&A.
Can I ask you guys another question though, real quick?
Sure.
How come none of you, not one of you, debunkers, except for I'd say conspiracy cats, maybe Bob the Science Guy, how come none of you guys have ever been on Nathan Oakley's show?
Actually, I have. He kicked me off because I was calling him out on his bullshit.
What show?
Back in 170 something.
It's 170 something. So if I go look through 170 up to what 200, I should be okay. I should find you.
If you can even still find him.
Well, I can still find him. I'm just asking why hasn't Fight the Flat Earth or any of these other guys been on that show?
Maybe
What's wrong with that?
maybe because we don't like supporting someone who actively strikes their child live on air.
Did you see him strike his child? No, you didn't. So
No, everyone heard it. But aside from that, I don't really care to go somewhere where someone can't function without their mute button. If you notice that I haven't muted you once.
So you're scared of a mute button?
I'm not scared of a mute button. It's just not a conversation if I'm silenced. I don't like censorship.
And that's actually one of the things I was calling him out on. Because if you notice, randomly, Oakley will go to his advertisement in the middle of other people talking. It's because he doesn't want the audience hearing what the person speaking is about to say.
Okay, well, I've seen him treat Globers, Globies, Globlins, whatever you guys call yourself, or whatever we call
People. We
well,
call ourselves people.
Okay, well, I see Glow Believers go on there, and he treats them with respect if they treat him with respect. So I don't understand why you guys, are scared of a mute button. Go in there, present your evidence.
It's not scared of a mute button. If someone mutes you throughout the conversation, then it's not a conversation worth having. That's not being scared of it. That's acknowledging that it's a waste of time.
Are you saying that every person who goes in there against him doesn't interrupt him also? They interrupt each other, but when dialogue ensues, good dialogue, you can get a lot out. And
so why can't that little pussy abandon his mute button?
Well, I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe go on a show and ask him.
Why? So he can mute me and then kick me out? Do you not see the fucking point here, dude?
Why don't you just go on there and present your evidence? If your evidence is so strong, why can't you just go on there and do it?
I've explained this already.
Because you're scared of a mute button. I get it.
No, it is not being scared of a mute button. It's acknowledging that a conversation where one party is consistently censored is not a good conversation. It's a waste of time like this one. That is not saying I'm scared. So fuck off with your I'm scared bullshit.
Okay. I also would like to say something about Fight the Flat Earth.
Why?
He's a puss. That dude blocked me off of his comment sections on my debates. Like, dude, he calls people bitch made all the time, and then he goes and blocks me. Like, what a fucking joke. Dude is such a hypocrite. He's a liar, and he's got no balls. No balls.
Random question. What were you commenting about?
Flat Earth, man. Fuck, you cut me, I bleed flat Earth, dude.
Really? Because you've talked about other subjects that you've been told watch it about, because they are subjects that actually do bring down channels for them being mentioned and talked about in particular manners.
No.
Yeah, there's a reason why Eric Dubé is on his third or fourth channel.
Because he's an anti-Semite.
No, well, you guys, I didn't bring it up. I'm not gonna bring it up. So
you wanted to
look
earlier.
into it.
I don't know why.
Just
you're
look into it.
now.
Just look into it, man. I mean, it's
look into what?
It's just information. That's all it is. That's all the Holocaust hoax is. It's just information.
All right. There you go. Goodbye. This conversation's over. There we go. Took a moment, but I got him out of there.
Yeah, I had a feeling that it was similar commentary to that is why he got muted over at FTFEs. But of course, he's not self-aware enough to realize that. And by the way, so I do have the entire list of things that I was tagged on, and also I might have missed a most recent super chat. Let me check. Nope, I got the most recent ones too.
Oh, I've got them up here. Or I should. Pure activity. There we go. Yeah, I guess we'll go through super chats now then. I'm sorry about the ending of that, everyone. I'm sorry it had to go there. I knew he wanted to take it there, so I did kind of egg him on a bit just to get him to say the words, because as soon as he said the words, I was going to let him go. But yeah, so super chats. What's the cent of euro? The cent currency.
Cents.
It's cents. Okay, so 99 cents from Mr. President 99. Thank you, man. With just a smiley face with sunglasses. And then another one with an upside down smiley face. Thank you again. Aged Desert Rat for $3. That's adorable. What are these called? These are like stickers or something, right?
Yeah, so you have the super stickers, which are just that, the emojis, which actually they've gotten pretty good with some of them. But then Mr. Present 99 actually started off the text-based ones with the €5 one. So those were the ones that I captured from then on.
All right. Well, thank you to Age Desert Rat for that one. Mr. Present 99 again for €5. Man, don't bankrupt yourself here. You're too good to me. Zoom in really hard on a basketball. Looks bumpy and flat, doesn't it? You do realize the Earth is really big, right? Thank you for that one, Mr. President, because that is why I brought up that image of the basketball, because you reminded me of it there.
Now, to be fair, on that bit, I do kind of see where Hippie was trying to go with that, in that when you look at how the camera was set up, he was saying, well, pan the camera around. And well, yeah, what do you expect if you're looking from orbit? Because that's essentially where the camera would be.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't realize he meant, like, move the camera. I thought he just meant, like, if you could pinpoint it and just pivot it.
No, yeah, he was trying to say, no, turn the camera itself left and right.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's going to drop off because at that point you're in orbit.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Thank you for explaining that, because I had no idea what he was trying to go for there. And Flat Earth for $5. Thank you very much. The only reason there is a horizon at all is because the Earth is not flat. Very true. Mr. President, again, for €5. If the Earth is flat, why can't you see Germany with a telescope from your place? It's flat, right? And don't come up with this precepting crap. I'm guessing he meant perspective. Pardon me. And Flat Earth for another $2. RIP FE 2020. Absolutely. Schrodinger's cat. Hey, Schrodinger, I didn't see you in the chat. For $1.99, he said, I am they. That was like my favorite part of his debate with Marilyn Spirit Level. Was what actually got her upset was saying the words me and the government, thank you for coming here. Andrew Stoll for $5. H3, at what temp does structural steel lose 50% of its strength? I bet he doesn't know. Mr. Present 99 for €10. Jeez, man. OMFG, this guy hurts my brain. Dekus, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you're the first person that needs a brain transplant at the end. Well, at least the brain is easy access in your case. Just reach into the jar, pluck it out, put a new one in. Area 85 restorations for $10 said jet fuel burns at 800 to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. A 36 I-beam steel loses about 50% of its yield strength at 800 degrees. 9/11 conspiracy debunked. I honestly, I haven't looked too far into the 9/11 conspiracy. That sounds right to me, but I don't know.
No, that is something that I've looked into, and that is that it's not that the beams were melted.
They were just weak.
The integrity was compromised to the point that we ended up getting the results that we're seeing.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Because I'd heard that before. I've heard that the common response to jet fuel can't melt steel beams is no, but it can weaken them.
Yeah.
Old Man Dan for $2.69. My avatar shows proof of water on a ball. I need to get a closer look at his avatar because I can't quite tell what it is from here.
If I remember right, it's him standing at the beach.
Oh. Of course. So basically my answer to Hippie of go outside. Pardon. So I'm guessing Hippie brought up something controversial at this point because Mr. President 99 again donated with €2 and said, OMG, why, what, kill it with fire. So I'm guessing that may have been his first jab at the H word, maybe?
Probably.
Mr. President 99 again for €2. DK starts screaming took longer than expected. You know what? I will admit I was putting on a little bit of an act there. I was not too much, but I was exaggerating the tone of voice a little bit. I was pretty annoyed though. And Flat Earth for $5. Personal incredulity will never prove the Earth is flat. There was a lot of incredulity, wasn't there? There was a lot of I don't know and I don't trust anybody. GPS for $2. Will HipHop Hippie be the first FE to explain how GPS works? Apparently not. Stephen Huxtable for $1.99. HipHop Hippity Hopeless. That's good. I like that. And Mr. President 99 for dumb. Oh, right. He told me about this earlier. This is a German phrase that it means. Damn it. He's screaming at me in the chat. No, I am not letting Green Bullion on my show. He's been on my show, and we kicked him off for being an asshole, much like we did with Hippie. But I'm not going to try and say that because I'm not German, but that's some kind of German phrase that it's very clever. It's one of those phrases. It's one of those ways of telling a person they're an idiot where they won't figure it out at first. They'll have to kind of think about it for a minute, and then they're insulted. Area 85 restorations for $5. If the government is the institution perpetrating the globe lie, why is Blue Origin doing it too, since they have no government ties? I'm going to imagine Hip Hop Hippie's answer here. They are, man. Just look into it. It's all connected.
Oh, and it's funny that Area 85 mentions that because...
Oh, he works
for Blue Origin.
Yeah. By the way, Area 85 restorations, man, I am peanut butter and jealous of your job. Just have to say. Oh, God, Green Bullion is still here. No. Dude, see, you came on my show. We said, I told you I'll give you 33. Every news story with a 33 is fake. Okay, great. Now, how's the Earth flat? And you couldn't figure out how to get past your 33 nonsense. So, no, you're not coming back on. You're probably not coming back on anywhere. So, that was fun. Sort
yeah.
of.
Now, I will apologize for stepping in the way I
it was fine.
but at the same time, had to actually get that out, and I will give him this. He actually did let me explain. It's just, it's funny how I can break down an EME bounce to a 5th grade level understanding of the scientific method, and he still wanted to get it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed someone in the chat at one point said ask him what the EME stands for.
And here's the thing, Hippie, since I know you're out there still listening, get a hold of your local ham radio group, and I am sure they would be more than willing to bring you in on an EME bounce and actually let you see what happens and even show you how the calculations are done, because guess what? They're actually really flippin' simple.
Oh, yeah, another one. Oh, Area 85. Another $5. Thank you very much, man. At Dead Kennedy in Space. Thanks. I'm a huge fan of your channel. Keep up the good work, sir. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So I don't know. Did we have anything else we kind of want to cover here before just calling it a day?
Other questions and comments that came in the middle of that. Let me go ahead and clear out.
I'm sure a lot of them were for him.
Those ones. Some of them are going to have no answer. So from Mr. Present 99, ask him, Hip Hop Hippie, if he ever heard of this photo mode of his cell phone where you can take 360-degree pictures. I'm willing to bet no. But it does go to the whole thing about composite does not equal fake.
Yeah, well said. That it actually drives me crazy whenever they jump on the word composite, because I'm just like, that doesn't mean anything. A composite is not a fake picture.
Yeah. Otherwise, you have to discount all panoramas. Did get another question from Bullionator that I would have enjoyed hearing this one. The actual response to this one. How is thinking the Earth is flat going to lead to a better life?
That's a very good question. And that's something I've had a problem with, actually. That I've been thinking of making a video on this. I probably will, about the concept of general revelation, because a lot of flat earthers tend to at least claim to be religious, right? And here's the thing to me. General revelation from a Christian standpoint is how God reveals himself to us through the intricacies of the universe. Which God seems cooler to you? The one who can create the globe and a near infinite universe, or a God who creates a tiny little snow globe? There's a lot more general revelation to be found in the heliocentric model if you want to take that route.
True. And I just had to stop myself short on that response to HipHop Hippie, because his response was, the grass is greener on this side. There are so many ways I could respond to that, but none of them are channel friendly.
Yeah.
Branko,
I did sort of debate green bullion. There's a stream called The End of 33 UC. He showed up about an hour and a half late and couldn't get off the subject of 33 in the news being means things are fake, so we kicked him off.
So 2 more comments that were comments and questions from the chat that came through. From Tommy Grunwald. Ask him what conspiracy theory that changed the shape of the Earth.
Yeah.
I think the answer was effectively all of them.
That's the beauty of Flat Earth. It functions as that grand unifying conspiracy.
And the last one, which came from LRJ88. Would it be worth showing some of the plants grown in space and how that won't be possible on Earth with our static gravity?
Hang on. I am so sorry. I was reading the chat while you were asking that, and then I realized it was actually an interesting question. Can you say that again?
Okay. So this is... I should have kept the timestamp of it. But so LRJ88 asked the question, would it be worth showing some of the plants grown in space and how that won't be possible on Earth with our static gravity?
That's an interesting thing. I'm sure he'd just write it off as fake because space can't exist, so obviously it came from somewhere fake, right? But that's an interesting point because plants know which way to grow because of gravity. And in microgravity, they really struggle to grow upwards properly.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else new in the chat that I was tagged in on? Well, other than for €2 from Mr. Present 99, and I recognize the correction after the fact, but he isn't good at math. Talking about the whole EME and how the actual calculations done after the timing are quite simple. It is literally you're given a rate and you're given a time. From those 2 numbers, you can derive the distance.
So
it's almost like...
Sorry?
Yeah, it's almost like velocity is distance over time.
Almost. Oh, God. This chat's turning into a mess with fucking green bullion and HipHop Hippie in there. Less in the head, better in bed. That was it. That was what the German phrase means.
You know, as funny as that is, I've found that's not always the case.
It's not. No, it's not always the case. No, the weirder they are, maybe, but not necessarily the stupider.
Or more amenable. Yeah, all depends.
All right. Well, let's see. How long did we end up going here for? Probably really close to an hour and a half. That's.
Yep.
I try to keep my streams to around that. So I think this was a success, quote unquote, because I mean, the point of these debates isn't to convince one another. It's about to show the way both sides argue and let you decide for yourself. So I think I've done a decent job at doing that. Hey Johnny, how's it going, man? That's awesome. That's one of my real life friends. So yeah, I think we've done our duty here. AT2, if you want to have like a final word, final thoughts.
No, at this point, I think it's pretty fair to see where I stand on it. And if there's one thing that I hope Hippie would learn from this, I'm not going to hold my breath. This is purely a hope. If you're going to expect a particular standard of the person you are interacting with, Hippie, have it be the same standard you hold yourself to.
Well said. Well said. That was probably the most annoying part of this debate is insisting that I do my research while he's done none of his own. That's all you need to do, guys. You need to go out and do your own research, and eventually you will realize the true shape of the Earth. P.S. It's a globe. So with that, I think we'll wrap up my first live stream and first debate of the year 2020. I think this was good because it's confirmed my suspicions about 2019. Flat Earth is slowly dying. This got dull at times, but it's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much, AT2, for coming on and moderating. I really appreciate it, man.
Not a problem.
And actually, if I can get to it quickly enough, I'm gonna... Oh god, my computer's freaking out. I was trying to put your channel link in the chat so people can go and sub if they're not already. Oh,
I'll make it easier for them. There. They can right click on to three dot. Well, they can click onto the three dots next to the message I just put there, and go to the channel themselves.
There we go, and I'll put it in the description for people who are watching after the fact. 199 from Tanya Nguyen. Nguyen. That's how that's said, right?
Win.
Really?
Yes. Gotta love the Asian names.
Wow. I must have forgot that then, because I used to know that. I used to work at a call center where we had a lot of Vietnamese customers, and that's a very common name there. But it's another one of those stickers with a little... Is that a pear? Saying cool? It is a pear.
Yep.
Pear-shaped.
How fitting.
All right. Thanks very much, everyone, for coming. And as usual, I will see you.